CTV Calgary. Local breaking news.
Good afternoon. Relief for air travelers. Air Canada and its flight attendants have reached a tentative agreement. The 10,000 flight attendants in the union must still vote to ratify the new deal, but this does mean the strike is over. The job action began early Saturday, but just hours later, the federal government ordered the dispute to binding arbitration. While details of this new agreement are yet to be seen, Air Canada had earlier offered a 38% salary increase in total compensation for flight attendants over 4 years, with a 25% raise in the first year, which the union deemed insufficient. A key sticking point was pay for ground work, tasks such as boarding passengers, which are not currently paid. When flights were canceled during the strike, more than 500,000 passengers were affected, but the airline says relief is coming soon.
Absolutely, the planes will be back in the air from 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Air Canada and Air Canada Rouge. And then we have our full Air Canada Express schedule already operating.
Air Canada is offering customers refunds or rebookings on other airlines to dates up to a year from their original booking. Pierre Poilievre is heading back to the House of Commons after a landslide win in the riding of Battle River Crowfoot.
This has been a privilege. Getting to know the people in this region has been the privilege of my life. In fact, I've had a hell of a lot of fun.
Now, Poilievre's attention will turn to the fall sitting of Parliament, which resumes September 15th. Poilievre has already signaled some of what he plans to focus on, like a cap on spending to bring down inflation, affordability, and immigration. Earlier in August, the Conservative leader also said the party was calling on Prime Minister Carney to begin construction of at least 2 pipeline projects and a new natural gas project. Poilievre also faces a leadership review in January, which will take place in Calgary.
If he's not able to start moving polls in a more positive direction for himself, then members of the party will wonder whether he can carry them into victory in the next election, and they may be starting to look elsewhere.
The Tory caucus has been firm in its support for Poilievre, and it is widely expected he will win the leadership review, mainly because no one has so far publicly challenged his leadership. There's a major rift in Canada's cattle industry. The Alberta beef producers have decided to split from the Canadian Cattle Association when their agreement ends in June of next year. About half the funding for the Cattle Association comes from Alberta beef producers. The producers say they're concerned about the CCA's governance and fiscal transparency and have suggested bringing in a third party to conduct a review.
Quite simply did not anticipate any kind of an announcement like that, and very disappointed. I found, I was really preparing to engage in a lot of the issues that they had raised.
Both organizations say there could be a deal before the beef producers plan to exit the association. A new task force is helping central Alberta businesses as they manage economic struggles brought on by tariffs. The Central Alberta Resilience Task Force is a coalition of 11 municipalities, including Red Deer, Didsbury, and Innisfail. The task force recently released a 6-page report gauging the potential effects of Chinese and U.S. tariffs. Now it's asking for local businesses to share their experiences to try to come up with solutions.
To be economically resilient, it means that we can withstand economic shocks, whether or not those shocks are coming from trade tariffs, or whether or not they're coming from the pandemic, or whether it be some other thing that's going on in the world.
Businesses can share feedback on current economic conditions and the challenges they're facing through a survey. The answers will be used to shape policy recommendations. A new program is expected to help as many as 300 current and aspiring early childhood educators launch or advance their careers. As part of the Early Childhood Educator Bursary Program, 300 one-time bursaries of $10,000 will be granted to eligible students over the next 3 years. Since 2021, the number of early childhood educators in the province has grown by more than 13,000 to more than 31,000. The money can be used to cover the cost of tuition, books, and some living expenses. A Calgarian has won a national title at the Canadian Superbike Championship. 20-year-old Torin Collins got his 6th win of the season to clinch the title at the Canadian Tire Motorsport Park in Ontario. This weekend, a trophy presentation is happening at Rocky Mountain Motorsport in Carstairs. They will also be teaching 75 riders how to be safer and more confident on a bike. An Airdrie man is $1 million richer after winning $1 million on a scratch and win ticket. Gurpal Parmar picked up his ticket at a gas station in Olds, and was shocked when he scratched the ticket. The winner is looking forward to enjoying his winnings, saying he's in desperate need of a new car. He also says he'll be making a down payment on a house and hopes to take his family on a vacation. Thanks for joining us. We'll have more on the top stories coming up on CTV News at 5 and 6 or anytime online at ctvnews.ca/Calgary.